Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniushurt@gmail.com. I had a phone call about a loose exhibition reproducer, but I was going to talk about the adjustment of the reproducer to the tone arm. On an exhibition, you have this rubber flange. And these bolts go in and they stop. Here's an original, whoopsie. And you can see it threads in and then it stops at this thick part, so when you screw them in. When you mount them in, you see this pin right here where my finger is? That pin, when you set, here's the needle bar right here. That means that the pin goes off to 1 o'clock when you're holding it down like this to put it on. If you put it on the other way or some other way, your reproducer won't fit. And the other problem is this brass piece looks like that originally. So I'm going to use this for the demo. And this is one too, the rubber flange. So what happens on these flanges right here is that sometimes they nickel this too much, or it gets a little loose. Your reproducer will rock a little. So if it's loose, if it slides on and clicks, but it's loose like this, what you do is you have this little tag on the L, this piece right here. You can take a small needle nose plier and you can gently bend this up a little or bend it down so that the reproducer will fit in. Rarely do you have to file this out, but sometimes you have to file this out because this flange has been beat in this way and it won't click all the way back to set the reproducer at about the right angle like that to play on the Edison machines. The other little problem with these is if it's really, really hard to get on and you've pushed the tag down a little and it's still hard to press on, sometimes they over nickel this right here. So you take some sandpaper and you sand this down gently. I'd mask off right here where my finger goes so you don't ruin the nickel. That's where the flange fits in and stops. And also if I was working on it, this one's a little loose, I would pull this apart, clean it, and I put a little silicone grease in here.
Pull what apart?
I take this screw out. Oh, that one's tight. I pull this screw out to pull this apart. I would clean the inside out. And I'd add, if it's wiggling, this one's a little loose. You can hear this. Well, you want to tighten that up for air leaks. So I put a light coat of the silicone grease in there and then wipe off the excess to suck up the gap there. And you want to use, here are the screwdrivers. This is just a little trick on how to fix it.
How do you get that screw out if it's tight?
This screw, if it's tight, the needle,
This one.
oh, this one?
How do you get it?
I'm going to have to use a bigger screwdriver to get it out.
Okay.
And if that doesn't happen and it's messed up, you're going to have to use a pair of pliers and come in here. But I would use a thick, see the slot for the screw? I would use a thick screwdriver that fits in. You don't want to use a little one that fits in and wiggles. See how that wiggles in there? You want one, I don't have one on the bench at the moment, but you want a thicker screwdriver that fits in there. And you see how this is kind of beat up? These edges are screwed up here on the side right here. That's because somebody used a little screwdriver like this and it popped out like that and it damages the edge of the screw. So when you look at those screws a lot on Victrolas, you'll see that nicking on the side of the slot for the screw. I've always fixed those on machines, but that's why it does that, is because it's too small a screwdriver. You always want to use a firm. The other thing is, these aren't tapered. they're flat. Just a minute. Let me show you what I've done over the years. What I've done is I've taken a cheap screwdriver from Harbor Freight, and these come down to a point like my fingers are. I've ground down the edge so it's flat like a piece of steel, so this will fit in here. You can see on the side of my toolbox I have those there. This is a lot of fun, and that's my tip for the day.